For joining us, I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, police are investigating a murder-suicide in Searsmont, and we're now learning more information about those involved. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with relatives and co-workers as they process the shock of this incident.
Tragedy has struck the town of Searsmont as police confirm a home on the Borough Road was the scene of a murder-suicide.
Quite a mess when this all went down. 20, 30, probably state troopers and sheriff's office.
The Waldo County Sheriff's Office responded to the home around 2 p.m. on Monday. Upon arrival, they discovered 2 deceased bodies found inside. The individuals were identified as 50-year-old Amy Nickerson of Stockton Springs and 50-year-old Lance Lucas of Searsmont. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner ruled the death of Amy Nickerson as a homicide by gunshot wound, while Lucas's death was ruled a suicide, also by a gunshot wound.
They'll definitely be sorely missed, both of them, by everyone around, and it's a shame to see them have to go in this regard, at least any regard.
According to police officials and those that knew them, the 2 were domestic partners who had recently separated.
I mean, she left him about a month ago, which is the unfortunate thing because she was on a great path.
Amy was a well-known member of the Newport community where she worked as the general manager of the Anglers restaurant.
She was like the light of this town. Everybody knew Amy, no matter where you'd go. Oh, that's Amy from Anglers. And everybody came here to see her. Everybody loved sitting down and having a nice conversation with her. Like she was a huge staple of this community.
The restaurant plans to remain closed while funeral arrangements are made. Maine State Police will continue to investigate the sequence of events that occurred prior to and during the incident.
Try not to let this sort of thing happen, to anybody that they know, because it's entirely unfortunate and entirely preventable and entirely a loss to everybody involved.
The domestic violence hotline can be reached by dialing 1-800-799-7233. In Searsmont, Grace Blanchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
A woman charged with fatally stabbing her 93-year-old grandmother as well as her partner who used a wheelchair appeared before a judge on murder charges.
You went over those charges with Attorney Parody?
Yep,
And do you understand the charges?
I do.
53-year-old Tazara Jones is charged with 2 counts of murder for the deaths of 69-year-old Michael Willett and 93-year-old Aramian Mayo in Denmark. Police say deputies found their bodies on Friday in the same home where Jones lives in a state of decomposition. Police say Jones pretended to be asleep when they got a search warrant for her home. According to an affidavit, Jones's sister says Jones told her she was, quote, tired of taking care of them, end quote. The sister also believes Jones killed the 2 for an inheritance or will. Jones did not enter a plea and is being held without bail. 25-year-old Lorenz Labonte has been charged with murder for the death of 27-year-old Ahmed Sharif of Lewiston. Police arrested him at 103 Temple Street in Saco last night. Appearing virtually in court today, Labonte appeared frustrated and said he wanted to speak in court.
I'd like to have a conversation with him.
I think
I'd like to do my right to speak.
Yeah, Attorney Parody, I think we absolutely can accommodate your request to have a private breakout room with Mr. Labonte.
7 family members and supporters of Labonte were in court today. Labonte has a very long criminal record spanning almost his entire adult life for more than 6 years now, with charges including domestic violence assault. He is being held without bail. Early this morning, the Saco Police Department responded to a call at a residence on Temple Street. Upon arrival, officers discovered a woman who was suffering from a gunshot wound. She was transferred to a hospital where she remains in critical condition. There is not believed to be any danger to the public, and that investigation also remains ongoing. An early morning structure fire sent 3 people to the hospital. According to officials, a tone went off for a building fire at 287 Main Street around 2:30 a.m. When first responders arrived, they found significant fire in the back of the building. Orono Fire Chief Jeff Lowe says one of the occupants jumped from a window on the 2nd floor to escape the flames. The house has been deemed a total loss, but Chief Lowe says preventative measures could have made a difference.
We don't believe there were working smoke alarms inside the residence, and that certainly would have given the occupants more time to get out of the building. That early notification might have made the difference in this situation.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation, but the fire marshal's office does not consider the situation to be suspicious. Governor Mills, in other news tonight, Governor Mills joined students and faculty from Northern Penobscot Tech Region 3 to unveil the school's new $570,000 welding education center. Our Doug Banks spoke with the governor about the new center and one student who says it will help him and his peers prepare for the next chapter of their lives.
3, 2, 1.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
This brand new 600 square foot welding center is part of a $20 million expansion of career and technical education facilities across the state.
This welding shop expansion that you're standing in now is the culmination of efforts that began in July of 2022 and was just finished this November 17th.
Equipped with 10 welding booths, 10 new welders, and 5 new ventilators, this new facility will only bolster NPT Region 3's nationally certified welding program.
I have a law degree. I'm a lawyer. You can find a lot of lawyers in Maine, in most places. You can't find a plumber, a welder, electrician, a good automotive person, and that's why we need a lot of good people in the trades.
The CTE school brings in students from Lee Academy, Mattanock Academy, Penobscot Valley, Skink, and Stearns.
Getting certifications this early on is pretty hard for people that don't have a place like this, and it's pretty lucky that we get to go here.
Whether their next step is towards the workforce or higher education, the skills cultivated in this welding center will bond a stronger future for students.
All of our equipment is like great, top of the line stuff, and we get to start out on it.
These are all very necessary trades. They're not going away tomorrow. AI is not going to be replacing them no matter what you think. And I'm delighted that people are getting trained right here.
In Lincoln, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The resignation of the head of Maine's Child and Family Services may be the first of many changes to come. Not only is the Government Oversight Committee investigating that office, so is a nonprofit group created by former State Senator Bill Diamond. Brad Rogers has more.
Just because the director has now left, we can't assume that's going to solve the problem.
Former state senator and longtime child advocate Bill Diamond believes Todd Landry's resignation is tied to light now being shed on the Office of Child and Family Services.
That happened primarily because of all the sunshine we're bringing down onto this problem, and the public has said, "Look, enough is enough."
After the child abuse deaths of Kendall Chick and Marissa Kennedy more than 5 years ago, a state investigation led to what was supposed to be major changes in that office, including a shift from reunification to what's best for the child. Critics like Bill Diamond say that never happened.
The department has been very rigid about making sure kids get back to the parents if at all possible. The problem with that is, as the Ombudsman has said several times, that they're not making decisions that are safe for the children.
Not even what's best for the child, what's safest for the child.
What's safest. I mean, that's what the Office of Child and Family Services is all about, right? I mean, that's our primary goal, first and foremost, is to keep kids safe.
Reunification, that's their main goal, and it has been for decades.
Victoria Vose knows that all too well. Her grandson Maddox was one of 4 children killed in a single month in June of 2021, beaten to death by his own mother.
My grandson Maddox should never have been used as a learning tool for the department, and neither any of the other children.
Diamond says everyone warned Child and Family Services not to put Maddox back with an unstable mother with serious problems.
They did it anyway, and then in 3 months he's dead. The child has to have rights too, and the child has to have a priority in terms of safety. They're not getting that now. The system is broken, the culture is broken, and once that can be changed with the right people in charge, then I think we'll see some big changes.
That was Brad Rogers reporting. A bill to amend part of the language which determines who qualifies for certain housing assistance programs had a public hearing today. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has the details about why certain types of tenants want to make this change.
It's a pretty minor adjustment that I think could make pretty big strides.
Representative Kristen Cloutier of Lewiston is talking about her bill, LD 1505, which would reclassify housing cooperatives as renters when it comes to housing assistance programs. According to Craig Saddlemeyer, the cooperative development organizer for Raise Op Housing Cooperative in Lewiston, not many people know what a housing co-op is.
Cooperative it's affordable housing where the residents own the organization together, they govern it together. There's no landlord, there's no third-party ownership. It's resident-controlled housing.
That problem of awareness surrounding co-ops doesn't just stop at people. Their in-between status of renters and homeowners was causing problems for tenants trying to take advantage of assistance programs during the last few years.
So really opening them up to rental assistance programs, allowing those residents to take advantage of those types of things.
There are barriers to housing cooperatives to applying to these housing and utility programs because not many program administrators understand what a housing cooperative is. They're looking to process applications for rentership or homeownership, and the housing cooperatives pose a challenge in the application process. So this bill clarifies things and makes it easier for housing co-ops to apply for these programs without having to change the programs themselves.
The bill will now face a work session in the Housing Committee before making its way to a full vote of the legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Bangor City Hall is getting ready for some much-needed upgrades and renovations. Like many organizations based inside the building, the Bangor School Department will be relocating to a temporary location away from City Hall. Our Matthew Jurancic has that story.
The Bangor School Department will be a department divided, in a space that is, making 40 Summer Street its home along with taking advantage of space in some of the city's schools as renovations for City Hall begin next month.
For us, it's been rather seamless to do that, just a slight little change.
Changes to City Hall will begin sometime after mid-December. It will include a full asbestos removal, a new elevator shaft, and a complete renovation to the first floor. This will be the building's first major interior renovation since the mid-1970s. 40 Summer Street will house the superintendent and business offices. The assistant superintendent's office will work out of the Dowdy School, while pupil services will set up shop in the Cohen School. Despite having to move, Finney says business will remain as usual for the school department.
We communicate amongst our schools all the time. We have a courier that actually delivers packages from City Hall to the schools and back and forth, so our mail gets delivered 3 or 4 times a day. That will still continue, but just with Summer Street being added to that rotation.
Finney says the general consensus is that the move was desperately needed.
It's a nice space, it's a welcoming space, it's bright. So we're looking forward to being here for the time being and then heading back to City Hall once renovations are complete.
Meetings with the superintendent will resume on November 30th.
Finney says the new Bangor School Department offices will be located across from the police department and says construction will likely take 18 months. In Bangor, Matthew Jurancic, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, and looking outdoors now, things are feeling pretty chilly out there tonight, and it sounds like that trend is going to continue in the near future. Let's turn things over and take a first check of our forecast now.
All right, Peter, thank you. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather is brought to you by Winterport Sheds. Do you need extra storage, a place to live, camp on your lot, a building for your pets? Check them out at Winterport, the Bangor Mall, and of course at winterportsheds.com. Let's talk about temperatures today. Remember yesterday right now, we had highs in the 50s, not so much today. Highs only in the 30s across the region, and there are still some cloud cover areas and a couple of flurries out there. This is not a big deal at all. This will get out of here tonight, and tomorrow is going to be a very nice day, not just tomorrow either, for Thursday into Friday before our next weather system gets in here late Friday into Saturday. Until then, though, nicer weather but cooler temperatures. We're going to struggle to get above freezing for high temperatures tomorrow. Our forecast tonight, though, is mostly clear skies and partly cloudy skies, flurries ending with low temperatures in the 20s. Your full forecast is coming up. Peter?
All righty, Jeff, thank you. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, downtown Bangor's holiday tree is now up in West Market Square. We'll hear from those behind the festive display. And today was Giving Tuesday, a critical day for many nonprofits. We'll hear from them after the break. Stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe.
Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
It's Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday event with unprecedented savings on custom-built replacement windows. Our exclusive Fibrex composite material windows won't warp or bow and never need painting, making them vastly superior to vinyl windows. They're custom-built in the USA, installed with precision and care, backed by the nation's best warranty, and now more affordable than ever. Call today. These massive Black Friday savings and special financing end soon. Don't miss out. Call and schedule your free design consultation today.
Dude, you coming? Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. With Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Flu Relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast Cough Relief.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only Candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today. Great things are always cooking at the Ground Round. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground Round, Odland Road, Bangor.
It's season 10 of The Masked Singer. And there's so much in store. Don't miss it. All new Wednesdays on Fox.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Hello, I'm Emma Smith, and coming up on Good Morning Maine, the Santa Express came into town over the weekend. We'll get a recap of that. Plus, we'll hear the proposals for the art installations in Waterville. And all the latest news regarding the Lincoln Mill. These stories plus some live music in the 7 a.m. hour, coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in downtown Bangor. A 39-foot tall balsam fir tree was put up in West Market Square, and to be clear, it's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. For the past 25 years, the tree has been selected by Dan Sprague, who continued that tradition once again.
So what goes into a good Christmas tree?
Well, where it is more important than what it looks like sometimes. I like to have them about 38, 40 feet tall. Balsam fir is my favorite. They're not brittle, they're pretty easy to handle. And we've done it a long time, we're getting pretty good at it.
I'd say so. Well, normally Sprague and his nephew take care of all the tree setup, but this year they received a helping hand as Fraser Signal Technologies provided their services to help trim the tree.
We're just happy to be a part of the community and doing things like this. There was an opportunity to contribute. We're thrilled to be here.
Great to see that, and the tree is looking very festive. The city of Waterville, meanwhile, is still accepting proposals for temporary public art installations for the downtown area. Individual artists or groups have until December 31st to submit their proposals. The goal of the artwork, which will be displayed from June through October of 2024, is to inspire joy and curiosity. The art installations may include a variety of media formats as well as sound, projection, or light. Maurice Sugden of Waterville Creates says the organization is looking to fund one project for $50,000 or two projects for $25,000 each. Those interested should send their submission to msugden@watervillecreates.org. Today was Giving Tuesday, and it's a very important day for nonprofits who rely on donations. Some have special matches for donations given today. Others say the donations they get help them to continue the work they do all year long.
Giving financially is hardest because it's the humblest. We don't see immediate gratification for it. But it gives us here at the Salvation Army the opportunity to help those in need in any way they need it, whether it be that food, jacket, or coat, whether it be maybe a new bike or some oil to keep them warm at night.
The Red Salvation Army bell ringers have been out with their kettles. You can also give by texting 31333 or visiting this story on our website. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, we'll have an update from Israel's war with Hamas, including the latest on efforts to deliver aid and release hostages. And lawmakers on Capitol Hill continue their efforts to expel disgraced Congressman George Santos. Those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 comes right back.
When the Coach House Restaurant wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. The Coach House Restaurant, family dining at its best with fine home-cooked meals, delicious homemade desserts, and a large menu of tasty offerings for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. With the money I saved, I started a dog walking business. Oh! No, it's just too funny! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Now for Black Friday, sign and drive on the all-wheel drive Tucson with zero due-it signing, zero down, and zero security deposit. Offers end 11/30.
Maine QuitLink offers free help to stop smoking and vaping, including personalized quit plans and free patches, gum, and/or lozenges with every program. Get connected to a quit coach, trained to develop a plan that works for you. Learn how to curb cravings and overcome slips and relapses. It's free, it works, and people who enroll are 2 times more likely to successfully quit. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or enroll online at mainequitlink.com.
Black Friday deals are happening now at the Furniture Gallery. Gather your family for a holiday meal with this 5-piece dining set, only $3.99. Looking for more family room seating? How about recliners starting at $2.99 and sofas just $3.99? Update your guest room with an Ashley Queen 5-piece bedroom set for $8.99. And don't forget the mattress starting at just $2.99. My family is here to provide you with the best value for your money on brands like these. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Hello, fellow flyers. I'm the Savvy Traveler, here to share the secrets of convenience at Bangor International Airport. Parking, you're steps away from the terminal. Inside, even more conveniences. And friendly, efficient security. All of these make BGR the official airport of you. Remember, the Savvy Travel through Bangor International Airport. FlyBangor.com.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
As another group of hostages was released by Hamas, some of the remaining captives are no longer in Hamas custody. The Israel Defense Forces say some hostages are being held by other terror groups, making them harder to find. Fox's Nate Foy has details.
Israel and Hamas accusing each other of violating the temporary ceasefire agreement. 3 explosions in the northern Gaza Strip injured several Israeli soldiers and led to a gunfight with Hamas, the first exchange of fire in 5 days. Despite the short-lived fighting, the ceasefire extension runs through tomorrow, and the violence didn't stop a 5th consecutive prisoner-hostage exchange. 10 Israelis and 2 foreign nationals left Gaza today, in exchange for 30 Palestinian prisoners. But more than 140 Israeli hostages remain in Gaza, including 10-month-old baby Kafir Bibas and his 4-year-old brother Ariel, taken into Gaza with their mother by Hamas terrorists, who handed them over to a different terrorist group, according to the IDF. Hamas also took Reuma Terachansky's daughter after murdering her son 53 days ago.
I'm asking from you, President Biden, to help me. I'm really begging you to bring Gali back home.
In Qatar today, CIA Director Bill Burns discussed a possible larger hostage deal. This as the first of 3 U.S. military planes carrying humanitarian relief bound for Gaza landed in Egypt, while Israel anticipates a larger conflict on the northern front.
We will ensure that the residents of the North return to a different, better, and more stable security reality.
2 of the 10 Israeli hostages released tonight include a mother and her 17-year-old daughter, who was seen holding the family's dog while flanked by Hamas terrorists during the exchange with the Red Cross. The temporary pause in the fighting is set to expire after tomorrow. The Israeli War Cabinet is meeting tonight. In northern Israel, Nate Foy, Fox News.
And aid groups inside Gaza are urging for an extension of the current ceasefire. Despite caravans of international aid arriving from Egypt, some relief workers say it's not enough to help the hundreds of thousands struggling across the region. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos with that story.
Long lines of trucks full of humanitarian aid continued rolling into Gaza on the 5th day of a temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The break in fighting allowing crucial supplies like food, water, fuel, and medicine to arrive from Egypt via the Rafah crossing. It's a welcome sight for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians struggling to survive.
We only have 3 tomatoes, and these are going to be our lunch and dinner for today.
We are burning the rubble of our home to cook.
The UN World Food Program says it may not be enough to curb the humanitarian crisis on the ground.
Hundreds of thousands that are facing an immediate risk of starvation.
According to the WFP, the Rafah border crossing doesn't have the capacity to handle the number of aid trucks needed to help Gaza's citizens, many who also use the crossing to seek medical aid in Egypt, while it's also being used by Israel and Hamas to exchange hostages. On Tuesday, the U.S. announced plans to increase its humanitarian assistance with the first of 3 relief flights beginning this week. This on top of the more than 500,000 pounds of food assistance already delivered to the region last week.
Today, the United States airlifted 24.5 metric tons, or more than 54,000 pounds, of UN humanitarian supplies to provide vitally needed medical supplies, warm clothing, and food and nutrition assistance to the people of Gaza.
The increase in aid comes as the Biden administration pressures Israel to avoid further large-scale displacement of Palestinian civilians in southern Gaza. President Biden says he would like to see the ongoing ceasefire continue for as long as possible. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
And on Capitol Hill, GOP Congressman George Santos says he expects to be removed from Congress this week. This is the New York lawmaker accused of lying about his background to get elected and using his campaign funds for personal use. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
It's extremely rare for a representative to be kicked out of Congress, but things are not looking good for New York's George Santos.
He has no place in the House of Representatives. He's here based on fraud.
I've spoken to Congressman Santos at some length over the holiday and talked to him about his options, but we'll have to see.
Tuesday, lawmakers pushed the issue once again on the House floor, forcing a third expulsion vote to happen this week. Santos survived his colleagues' last 2 attempts to oust him, but this time lawmakers have the findings of a House Ethics Committee report, which some hope will convince the holdouts to get rid of him once and for all.
I think there's support there to expel him.
From day one, the overwhelming body of public evidence is that he's a serial liar.
The report found, quote, substantial evidence Santos broke the law, including using campaign funds for Botox treatments, designer goods, and lavish trips with his husband.
If they want to send me home, if they think this was a fair process, if they think this is how it should be done, and if they're confident that this is a constitutional way of doing it, God bless their hearts.
A change in tune from when Santos was confident only his constituents could remove him.
Like I've said before, I'm staying in office for sure.
Congressman Santos has not yet been convicted of a crime, and whether or not he's expelled, Santos says he will not run for re-election. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Meanwhile, it was another sentencing day for convicted killer Alec Murdaugh. The once prominent South Carolina attorney back in a Beaufort, South Carolina courtroom to face charges for financial fraud. Fox's Jonathan Siri with that story.
I am so sorry. So sorry for the things that I did.
A tearful courtroom apology from disgraced South Carolina attorney and convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh, accused of defrauding more than a dozen former clients of millions of dollars in settlement money.
I deceived each of you. I did terrible things.
Murdaugh, who is serving 2 life terms for the 2021 murders of his wife and son, apologizing after lengthy impact statements from several victims during a sentencing hearing in Beaufort. This included statements from the adult son of Murdaugh's late housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield.
You lied, you cheated, you stole.
Murdaugh admitted to stealing about $4 million in settlement money from the Satterfields, but her son says he doesn't hold any resentments.
I want you to know that I'll forgive you. I will pray for you every day.
Earlier this month, Murdaugh agreed to plead guilty to 22 financial crimes in exchange for a 27-year prison sentence. State prosecutors initially charged him with more than 100 financial crimes, including breach of trust, money laundering, and tax evasion. This plea deal will avoid a lengthy trial. Under the agreement, the sentence will also run at the same time as his federal sentence on similar charges, which he also pleaded guilty to earlier this year.
You have one 20-year sentence and a consecutive 7-year sentence for a total sentence of 27 years.
Murdaugh is now awaiting his sentencing on federal financial crime charges. In Beaufort, South Carolina, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the bird flu is still reportedly causing harm across the country. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says 1.35 million chickens are being slaughtered on one Ohio egg farm as the avian illness takes its toll on the industry. The outbreak began last year and saw the slaughter of nearly 58 million birds due to the virus. This year, the disease is said to have lessened a bit, although it remains a concern. 8 million birds have been killed this year in an effort to help curb the spread of the disease. Officials say bird flu does not represent a significant health threat, with cases of human infection from the disease being seen as extremely rare. Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, a memorial service was held in Atlanta for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter earlier today. Her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, in attendance. And in sports, Maine hockey is back on Friday after a weekend off, and they've got New Hampshire coming to the Alfond. We'll be right back.
J.J. McCarthy in Michigan put the playoffs and a national title on the line against Iowa. The Big Ten Championship, Saturday on Fox.
However you do the holidays, do it together in the Chevy that's right for you. The strong and capable Chevy Silverado, the award-winning Chevy Equinox, or the all-new Chevy Trax. This holiday season, do more together in a new Chevy. Current qualified lessees can lease this Equinox for $249 a month. Visit your Maine Chevy dealer.
My father started a roofing company in the 1970s.
Back when asbestos was still commonly used in Maine.
When George was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew there wasn't a cure yet, but we knew he needed help.
We called Joe Bornstein's office because this family means business.
Their team is handling everything, representing Mainers who were victims of asbestos exposure.
We highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
If I don't hear from you tonight, pull the sword. I know it, but I can't let go. Everything I love is out to sea.
The Greg B. Harrell Show. ...
Am I supposed to read the ...
More than this.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back.
And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekend with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
A memorial service in Atlanta honored former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, in attendance. Fox's Steve Harrigan with that story.
They came to remember and honor Rosalynn Carter, who died last week at age 96.
Rosalynn Carter would be so pleased to see that she brought all of you together on this day.
President Biden, the Vice President, and all 5 living First Ladies, Dr. Jill Biden, Melania Trump, Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, and Hillary Clinton, as well as former President Bill Clinton. Former President Jimmy Carter, age 99, who has been in hospice care for several months, also attended the service at Emory University in Atlanta, but did not speak. The two were married 77 years.
My mom spent most of her life in love with my dad.
President Carter said Rosalynn was his equal partner in everything he achieved. She reshaped the role of First Lady, attending cabinet meetings, advising her husband, and going out alone on the campaign trail. Family members emphasized her care for the weak and her adventurous spirit.
My mother was the glue that held our family together through the ups and downs and thicks and thins of our family's politics. I will always love my mother. I will cherish how she and Dad raised her children.
Thousands came out to see the motorcade and pay their respects. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the snow is still falling in parts of the Midwest and Northeast as a major lake effect storm continues. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne has more from New York.
The first significant lake effect snowstorm of the season is now underway, and it's a big one. Cold air is spilling down from Canada, flowing over the still unfrozen Great Lakes, resulting in multiple days of heavy snowfall downwind. At least 5 to 8 inches of snow are expected across the upper Midwest, New York, and New England. Here in Altmar, New York, they've gotten more than a foot so far, and the snow is still falling.
Yeah, it took about, probably 20, 30 minutes to clear the car off. And then we had a knee-deep snow behind the car.
More than 3.3 million people along the eastern shores of Lakes Erie and Ontario have been under lake effect snow warnings since the start of the week. Those warnings and the snow expected to continue until at least Wednesday. Schools and municipal offices across the region are now closed, but some say the snowstorm is a welcome change.
We haven't had much snow in the last few years. 7, 8, 9 inches, that's the most. That's rare. When I was a kid growing up, there was always 3 or 4 feet on the ground.
Meanwhile, state and local officials are urging folks to stay off the roads until the storm passes, saying visibility can drop quickly during lake effect snow events, leaving many drivers unprepared.
Traffic may be stopped ahead of you for a reason, and you can plow right into it. And that's where it gets critical. You have to be smart in these kind of situations.
The snow off of Lake Erie is expected to gradually become lighter throughout the day and wind down sometime Wednesday. In Altmar, New York, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
All right, and none of that white stuff in our neck of the woods just yet, but we'll find out if we'll get any after the break. Stay with us.
High temperatures took a step back today with highs only in the 30s across the area. Tomorrow is going to be even colder. We'll struggle to get above freezing. Details on that when I come back.
This may look like a holiday shopping showdown, but it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get up to $1,000 holiday bonus cash on popular models. Better hurry, these offers won't be back in stock.
When outdoors, some people like it hot and some people like it cold. However, when indoors, most people like it comfortably warm. Choose a Boderas boiler from McCusick Petroleum Company to provide you with comfortable and efficient heat. They also offer sales and service on many brands of furnaces, boilers, and water heaters. McCusick Petroleum Company delivers oil and LP gas to homes and businesses throughout the Pequot region. If you'd like more information on pricing or service, call or stop by our office in Dover Foxcroft.
A family-owned and operated business since 1953, Hammond Lumber Company recognizes the value of their team members and the importance of employee satisfaction. Hammond is honored to have been named one of the best places to work in Maine for 3 years running. This year, Hammond was selected as one of the best companies to work for by Business New Hampshire magazine. Hammond is always looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Who likes to drink good coffee? At Carabassa Coffee Company, we roast premium quality coffee beans from all over the world. Roasted to perfection in small batches, our coffee is always fresh. We offer a large selection, including our specialty blends, organics, single origins, decaf, and flavor. Whether you like light, medium, or dark roasts, we have coffee to suit every taste. We offer flat rate shipping for online orders, and we ship fast. Carabassa Coffee Company. Drink good coffee.
This may look like a holiday shopping showdown, but it's a Nissan sales event ad.
Get up to $1,000 holiday bonus cash on popular models. Better hurry, these offers won't be back in stock.
Welcome to MasterChef Junior, home for the holidays.
I thought you were all going to wear costumes for this.
Bah, humbug! The MasterChef Junior holiday special begins December 10th on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store. Stop by and see our store in downtown Belfast and a new location, the Bangor Mall. Let's talk about temperatures. It's a cold night out there. We had highs today only in the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow is going to be even colder. We're going to hold high temperatures for many of us in the low 30s tomorrow. After we did this today, 38 here in Bangor, 34 Millinocket, below freezing in Greenfield. It's a cold day, right? Tomorrow, though, it's going to be even colder, followed by somewhat warmer temperatures getting in here, most likely on Thursday into Friday. All right, the wind chill, though, is going to feel like it too, right? So the wind today out of the northwest around 10 to 15 miles per hour with air temperatures in the 30s gave us feel-like temperatures near zero for several hours today. This will actually improve overnight tonight as the wind begins to die down throughout the day tomorrow. It will not be as cold feel-like temperature-wise tomorrow throughout the afternoon. All right, we are the cool kids, though. Much of the country, of course, is below average in temperatures today, but we're beginning to see a bit warmer temperatures across the west. This will begin to slide in this direction. Until then, though, the core of the cold air settles over us tomorrow, and it's going to be a cold day with high temperatures near freezing or below. Going forward, though, so tomorrow is going to be a bit breezy, not so much windy anymore, and cold, though. Warmer for Thursday, back up temperatures in the 30s to low 40s, and then rain is back in the forecast for us later Friday and likely into Saturday. Look like rain event, too. Not much snow with this one. Speaking of snow, there's still a little bit of snow on the radar. This is mostly virga, though. Precipitation up in the cloud, not reaching the ground as it falls. But overall, there could still be a couple flurries out there tonight. Not a big deal at all. The bigger deal, though, is still up to the west of us. But we have several days until then. Not much going on here. That's all going to slide that way. Warmer temperatures are here. That's going to slide that way. And then our next weather system is going to be a piece of the system here and that one there. That could bring us some rainfall later on Friday into Saturday. I know, rainfall, right? For tonight, though, no issues at all. For tomorrow, it's going to be a very nice day. Don't forget your sunglasses tomorrow, albeit a cold day tomorrow. And then some increasing clouds tomorrow night. Maybe a flurry, most likely not. Another dry day for us on Thursday. Dry for most of Friday before we get increasing clouds Friday night. And then we get some rain showers in here late Friday and likely into Saturday as well. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies. Still a bit breezy out there with low temperatures down near 20 and that west wind that could gust near 15. For tomorrow, here we go. So mostly sunny tomorrow. High temperatures near 30, so below freezing tomorrow. It's going to get a bit gusty on the winds, too, gusting near 15, making that 30 feel a bit cooler throughout the afternoon. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow is the coolest day. A bit warmer for us on Thursday, up near 40. In the 40s on Friday, 45, lots of clouds. There's that rain-snow mix mix getting in here on Saturday. Mostly rain, maybe a little bit of snow as it ends Saturday afternoon, with high temperatures Saturday and Sunday in the 30s. Peter?
All right, and we got sports coming up next with Tyler Cruz. Stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
At US Cellular, anyone can get any phone free. So give yourself a free phone.
She's here.
Then give yourself the gift of not checking it. The gift of connection at US Cellular. New and current customers get any phone free.
Oh, that feels so good. What a sweetheart. I'm so lucky.
These socks are so soft. And her feet don't smell? These would be perfect for hunting season.
Moisture wicking, odor resistant, hypoallergenic, softer than cashmere, and warmer than wool. Get your alpaca socks and more at the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
Hey babe, can I borrow these socks?
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Bangor, located in the Penobscot Plaza, providing custom ink by licensed artists for more than 20 years.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start out on the ice. It's a big week coming up for Maine hockey. Now ranked 11th. After taking the weekend off for the holiday, the Black Bears are back home and back in action for the border battle. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. on Friday at the Alfond. It'll be the first time since February 2011 that Maine and New Hampshire are both ranked coming into the matchup. UNH clocked in at 15th in the nation. Right now, the Wildcats haven't lost in their last 3 matchups with Maine. That's not counting Maine's win in the exhibition earlier this year. The Black Bears say they've got to bring a little extra to snap that streak.
It's going to be, a very, very, very tight game. Like every one of those games has been since, this will be my 3rd year going into it. So just gonna probably whoever makes that extra play and whoever pays the price a little bit more, block that extra shot, makes that save, that'll be the team that wins.
Maine has a lot of big games against a lot of good teams, such as life in Hockey East. But asking some of the players, when they suit up against the Wildcats, that matchup is always that much bigger, and that goes for pretty much every athlete on campus.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, you can feel it around campus. Every time any of our athletic teams play UNH, there's a buzz around it. So we're excited, and we're excited to be here at the Alfond against them. So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of energy. It's going to be a great atmosphere Friday night. We can't wait for it.
All right, that place is going to be rocking on Friday. Let's move on now. It is that time of year again. High school basketball season. Our first team preview of the year will be a visit to Orono and the defending champs, the Class B boys champs, the Red Riots. Orono winning their first gold ball since 1981 last year. They're returning all but one player, so that is a huge confidence boost for those who are coming back. The year is young, so there are still some cobwebs to dust off and some rust to shake, but through their first few practices and scrimmages, the Riots' defensive intensity is picking up right where it left off, and that will be a huge key this season.
We're going to play defense. Defense wins championships, and that showed us last year. I mean, we came out, we didn't shoot the ball well in very many playoff games at all, but our defense showed up, and that's what got us a chip.
Today, we know we have scorers. We have guys who are going to put the ball in the basket. So the most important thing is to stop the guys on the other team who can put the ball in the basket. There's a lot of high-level scorers in Class B. We'll let our defense do the talking, and our offense will flow as it comes.
All right, speaking of Class B, this year is anything but a given for a repeat, as many of last year's top players from the class are back as well. But these guys are not scared of them. They welcome the challenge. They are fully aware of what they are getting into if they want to become back-to-back champs.
There's a lot of kids that are tough to guard, and, you know, it makes it more fun for me to come out and have to guard those guys that are, you know, pure scorers, and it's fun.
I mean, it's definitely nice to look back at it and see where we were, but we know every single team's going to come back hungry, and there's a variety of five or so teams that could win this thing. So it's going to be a dogfight.
All right, should be interesting. Can't wait for that season. Let's reluctantly move on to some football here. Will it be Mac Jones or will it be Bailey Zappi under center on Sunday when the Patriots host Justin Herbert and the 4-7 Los Angeles Chargers? Will it also be one of Bill Belichick's last game at Gillette Stadium? Patriots won't return to the practice field on Wednesday. Like last week, they may not have a solid answer until just before kickoff. Both quarterbacks have struggled so far, but both will have a chance to try to win the job and lead this football team to a much-needed victory. New England only has 2 home games left after this week, and earlier, Pat's offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien was asked about his head coach, Bill Belichick, and all of the rumors that continue to swirl around his future in Foxborough.
You know, to think about what he's done here in this organization, what he's done for this community, what he's done for this game, the game of football. He's been 50 years in the game of football. You know, I think you also got to step back and just, hey, look at what this guy's done for the game of football. I think that's very important to think about.
All right, let's head over to Husson now for some college hoops. Eagles hosting a men's and women's doubleheader Tuesday night against Bates College. Let's start with the men here. Husson trying to get to 5-0 on the year. Hot start for the Eagles. Early second half, Bates with it. Stephen Ward to Simon McCormick on the wing. He's going to drill a three-pointer to pull the Bobcats within 2. Later on, here is Husson's Riles Neff. One-on-one with Babacar Pouye. Pulls up and sticks the 3 right in his nose. But Pouye here with a moment of his own. McCormick feeds it to him, and he rocks the rim at Newman Gym. Finally, Husson up 6 with 3 minutes to go. Here's Neff to Eric Allers, and his three-pointer goes. That's 14 points and 10 assists for Neff. They win it 66-58. Eagles are 5-0. Over to the women's game now. Bates looking to remain unbeaten as well. First quarter, it's going to start with the Bobcats. Morgan Kennedy by herself beyond the arc. She takes the 3, and she drills it. Here's a couple minutes later. Husson with it. Trinity Montigny over to Hannah Richards on the wing, and her 3-ball is good. Husson down just 2 after 1. To the second quarter now. Here is Bailey Donovan. She's going to get the rebound here on the break. Sophia Torres-Reyes gets it down to Michaela Porter, and she catches a charging Sophia McVicker for the lay-in. Later, Bobcats with the lead. Danielle Adams, a unit here in the paint as she forces her way to the net for the lay-in. Bates, they are 6-0. They win it 58-50. All right, that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away.
Now for Black Friday, get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or $2,500 bonus cash on the all-wheel drive Tucson. Offers end 11/30.
This holiday season, you can expect the same great deals as you do every year, here at Quality Jewelers. Come in between now and Christmas Eve to capitalize on our 36-month 0% financing. We also have discounts store-wide, up to 50% off select pieces priced to move. Our expert staff is standing by, ready to help you find that perfect gift to fit your price point. Make this year one to remember with us here at Quality Jewelers. Quality Jewelers, locally owned and operated, Penobscot Plaza, Bangor.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. With the money I saved, I started a dog walking business. Oh! Oh no, it's just too funny! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin D knocks out your worst allergy symptoms, including nasal congestion, without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Claritin D.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, with my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay. And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue for some, and stop joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occur. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie could help you save.
Unwrap a night of shining stars.
Unwrap this!
The LEGO Masters Celebrity Holiday Bricktacular 2-night event begins Monday, December 18th on Fox.
Welcome back. Santa Claus is coming to the town of Unity aboard the Santa Express. This time of year, the Jolly Man himself, along with Mrs. Claus, ride the Belfast Moosehead Lake Railroad to hear what's on the wish list of every boy and girl this holiday season. Our Jody Hersey tagged along.
Passengers aboard the Belfast Moosehead Lake Railroad Santa Express are truly getting into the holiday spirit.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Youngsters, along with their parents and grandparents, are traveling from all over the state for this magical ride.
Train ride, it looks like old-fashioned a little bit and modern.
Brittany Green of Lincolnville is another traveler enjoying the experience with her 3 kids.
It's fun anyway, but it's kind of fun to do something a little extra sometimes.
Passengers get the chance to take in views of Unity Pond and the surrounding area while snacking on cookies and cocoa before Santa pays a visit to their train car.
What would you like for Christmas?
Santa says the wish list from boys and girls just keeps growing.
The kids are asking for cars, balls, trucks, monster trucks, and even one hippopotamus today.
Kiera Lauer of China says riding the Santa Express is a great way to roll into the Christmas season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great start to the holiday, and it's something local and fun to do. And who doesn't love trains?
The Santa Express chugs along every weekend from now until December 17th. Tickets can be purchased online at belfastandmooseheadlakerail.org. In Unity, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Sounds like Santa is certainly staying busy ahead of Christmas. All right, and that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And from everyone here at Fox 22, take care. We'll be here right here tomorrow night at 10.